Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the opportunity that has been given to me, the honorable judges and moderator. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Kezia Zebua. I'm a student from Senior High School State 1 ALASA. And today, I am the first speaker in the opposition team. Well, today the debate will bring up a motion. As a middle-class parent, this house will support their child's choice to the prioritize formal education in favor of pursuing digital creative skill or career, content creation, visual design. Before I give my parameter or argument, I will define what formal education, middle-class parent, digital creativity, and definition is. Formal education is education in school that is obtained regularly, systematically, justified, or tiered, and by following clear conditions. The middle-class parent is a description given to individuals and households who typically fall between the working class and the upper class. Within a socio-economic hierarchy, digital creativity is about using digital tools and technology to explore creative ideas and new ways of displaying your ideas, research, or work. The definition is systematic to create an educational environment and a learning step where students have the mental strength, self-control, personality, and intelligence needed by the Indonesian community, state, and nation to develop actively according to the father of national education. Education is a mandatory right for a child's life. Education has an understanding as a guide to the strength that exists in a child, so a child can become a human being and a society can achieve successful and useful for the country so that is can uphold the highest norms. Education Days on May 2 is the same as the birthday of the father of national education, Ki Hajar Dewantara. Formal education, it is an education path that you certainly already know or is common in Indonesia, namely education that is organized like a school and has a level of education, namely the elementary, junior high, and high school levels. This educational path has a structure and very clear level of education. Characteristic of formal education, there is a structured curriculum, have certain requirements. The material used is academic, takes a long time for the learning process supervision or teachers. Meet certain qualification place of education from the government or private must take the exam for the student. There are uniform rules when you finish talking education or continue to the next level. You need a diploma as an in-person role in the acceptance of student. Formal education system in Indonesia. Education is a human effort in increasing knowledge about the natural surroundings. Education begins with a learning process to find out something and then process that information to be applied in everyday life. In a narrow sense, according to McLeod, education means the act or process of acquiring knowledge. In a rather broad sense, education can be interpreted as a process with certain methods so that people gain knowledge, understanding, and ways of behaving in accordance with their needs. In the national education system, Law number 20 of 2003, chapter after is explained that formal education is a structured and tiered education path consisting of basic education, secondary education, and higher education. Formal education, which is often called school education, is a series of levels. Standardized education starting from elementary school to university. The role of the environment is very influential or has a very close relationship with this progress and achievement of education. This is because every individual involved in the educational process interacts with each other to become a single unit with their environment. The characteristic of the formal education system in Indonesia are A. More emphasis on intellectual development, B. Students are homogeneous, C. The content of formally programmed education curriculum is written, D. Structured and tiered and continuous, E. Scheduled and relatively long education time. V. The method of implementing education is formal. G. The evaluation of education is carried out systematically. Education must access and are important. In essence, formal education is part of national education which aims to shape Indonesian people completely in accordance with their nature, namely individuals who believe and are devout to God Almighty, have noble character, are democratic, uphold human rights, master science, technologies, and art, have physical and spiritual health, have life skills that are definite and dignified, have a solid, independent, and creativity personality, and have social and national responsibility that are able to create an intelligent and competitive nation life in the global era. The purpose of formal education in Indonesia, the purpose of formal education or school have educational goals according to the level of form and type. The school's goals can be found in the school curriculum in question. The general purpose of school is to provide students with the ability to develop their lives, while in formal education there is standardization of education in the Standardization Law number 19 of 2005 stipulate the minimum standard of education is 8 categories, namely standard of content, process, competency of graduates, educators, and education personnel, facilities, infrastructure, management, financing, and assessment of education. Formal education in accordance with what is stated in Article 1, Paragraph 11, Law Number 20 of 2003, and later clarified by the existence of Article 1, Paragraph 6, Government Regulations Number 17 of 2010, concerning management and implementation, which reads education. Formal education is a structured and tight educational path. The characteristics of this formal education path are have a clear curriculum, imposing certain conditions for students, the learning materials used are academic in the nature, the education process is quite long, the teaching staff must have certain qualifications, the implementation of education comes from the government and the private sector. Students take formal exams. There is a uniform administration practicing academic ability. These academic abilities include analytical skill, memorization, logic, problem solving, and so on. Someone who has good academic skill is generally better able to solve problems and have a better life. Train mental, physical, and discipline. This educational path requires students to arrive at school at a certain time and go home at a certain time. This can indirectly train student discipline. In addition, the learning process at school will continuously shape the mental and physical well-being of students. Practice responsibility at school. Students are also taught about responsibility, for example, the responsibility of doing tasks, maintaining, cleansing, and so on. Because this evidence, I strongly disagree with this motion. So, that's all of my argument. Thank you.